So I'm Kristin, and I'm 35 years old. I live in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I have two teenage boys, which is so much fun. I grew up in Colorado. I actually lived for a little while in Oaxaca, Mexico as well. So that was interesting. That was fun. Um, I'm an esthetician, so I do facials and waxing, and yeah, um, I've struggled with food for most of my life, most of my adult life. Just really, I think like most people, worried about my weight and what I look like and what I eat and how I feel. Um, I would say mostly, mostly what I look like, and only recently have I really been way more interested in how food makes me feel. So I came across you and your program, and I am loving it.
I love that point that you had just said before. You had a focus that maybe was just visual, which a lot of people do. So I hear you there. You're not alone in that. But I love
Right.
that you've already had that perspective change of how food plays a role in our life in terms of like how it nourishes you to be the best you could be in your work, which by the way, I would love a facial. I haven't had one in like a year with COVID. So I
Yes.
bet that's kind of fun to self-care yourself in that way, but also in terms of nourishing yourself so you could show up for your family and just you and yourself. So thank you for sharing that too. And you had mentioned a few things, but before joining the mindful nutrition method, when it came to consistently eating well on like a daily basis, weekly basis, what do you feel was the biggest challenge or frustration or block that you were struggling with?
The biggest challenge for me, again, in really being so concerned with my weight and my appearance, I was constantly going back and forth from restricting to then completely the opposite end of the of that spectrum. I was binging a lot. So
Mm-hmm.
um, I'm really good at losing weight. I know how to lose weight. It's maintaining it and feeling good in that process, because the way that I know how to lose weight is not fun. I don't think it's healthy, and honestly, I'm pretty miserable most of the time. So trying to figure out that middle ground, that balance between being able to eat things that I enjoy while still eating things that make me feel good, that make me feel energized and happy and nourished. That was always the biggest struggle for me, and I
Mm-hmm.
really do feel like your program has helped me figure that out.
Yeah. That's amazing to hear, and I'm so glad that you found a different way of doing things too. I think so many people think that you have to have that uh it's like that challenge and that resistance when you are trying like diets and trends, and we talk about this
Yeah.
obviously in the program, but you had said a few feelings that resonated with me of feeling like miserable. And I know that may seem like a dramatic term for people, but I know I have been there before because I have a whole history of trying all kinds of diets too, and my early days as a dietitian. So I just thank you for sharing that, because I think
Yeah.
that's not a way that I want people to live. And I think it's great that you've also realized that there can be a different way where you can find something that feels balanced and more sustainable to you. I'm
Yeah.
curious too, Kristin, what and you don't have to call out like specific diets if you don't want to, but I'm just curious,
Yeah,
like
no.
what were like the diets or the trends or maybe even like programs that you've tried in the past, and why didn't that work for you?
Um, most, and I've done, I can't say every diet on the, under the sun, but certainly many of them, um, most of them obviously restricting, focusing on the restriction of certain foods. And, and whether that be foods or calories, or, groupings of food, fat, carbohydrates, cycling, and then of course, working out. I work out and I love working out. But I also have a history of overworking out and undereating and overworking out in the long run is not sustainable, and it just doesn't work long term for me, and I can't imagine that many people can sustain that for very long. But even if they can, it's not pleasant. It's not a fun way to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not a joyful experience. I would also agree to that. How have what you learned in the mindful nutrition method, how has that helped you overcome these challenges in terms of past diets, or even thinking about your past self before you joined the method? What's really helped or kind of been that like aha moment for you in the program?
Oh my gosh, it's all helped so much. First of all, for me, going into the foundational 5 meals, that really helps me focus on adding foods in rather than restricting foods. And I feel like when I focus on adding certain foods in, it does leave less room for the other foods that don't make me feel so good. I've also been working with Erica. I meet with her for 20 minutes once a month, and that accountability has been really, really helpful for me. And then any issue that comes up for me is she's very good at addressing it and giving me several different options to choose from that work best for me. I feel like it's so nice because all of these things are very personalized. You can make this what you want it to be for you. And so yeah, accountability, foundational 5. I'm also learning, moving through everything very slowly and taking baby steps and focusing on one thing at a time has probably actually been the most helpful, because in the past, I'm very efficient. I like to get things done quickly. I want instant results. I think we all want instant gratification. But I've been there, done that, and I want something that's going to last. And so I realize, I've spent most of my life building these bad habits, and so it might take a while to make some better ones and to make them stick. So yeah.
Yeah, Kristin, I think that is such a golden nugget, so to speak, that phrase that you just said of really understanding that it is those baby steps, it's those small practices. And we talk about this too a lot in the program. I feel like I'm a broken record when I'm like, small steps, practices. But truly, I believe that's truly how you create new habits and replace, quote, bad habits or habits that no longer align with that vision that you have for yourself. And I think that is so key. So I'm so happy that that's been fruitful for you as well. And you mentioned earlier too, with just the things that you've tried, and also that mentality and that feeling and the emotions that you were feeling prior to starting the method, I'm curious too, what has been an aha moment or even just a learning experience through the method that's really shifted your relationship with food?
Yeah. Again, like I was saying before, I had really been mostly focusing on my weight, my appearance, and everything sort of physical and outward. And working through the method, I really feel like it's helping me see that it's not just about that, or not even mostly about that. It's how I feel, how I'm living my life every day, even just down to my daily routine. It's not even just about food. It's creating a morning practice or my afternoon practice, and looking at what my full day looks like, and how I can make small adjustments because even just the small adjustments make all the difference in how I feel. Changing my focus from losing weight and my appearance to how I'm feeling and how I'm showing up for my days has really been a huge difference. It's really taken the stress off of food for me. I don't feel as much stress around food.
Yeah. Oh, I love that, Kristin. Thank you for sharing that too, and being so open with the feelings that I think it's just so important, not only in this moment, like I said before we even started, for me to understand what's worked so well for you and where you've seen wins, but even for future or potential members and people who were like you X amount of months ago before they started. I think it's so important to share that feeling that you were going through, and now having that little shift, which I wouldn't say it's little, actually. I would say those baby steps and those little tiny things really did add up to a big shift over time. So I think that is incredible.
I really truly believe that this has helped transform my life. I have gone from feeling miserable and honestly depressed and very stressed around food to now be feeling excited to cook and to eat, and yeah, just there's not so much worry. I feel more alive. I feel happier, which and healthier, which is my goal.
Mm. I am, you just gave me goosebumps as you said that, because I'm just genuinely, I'm so excited for you. I'm so proud of you for doing the work, and yeah, and I'm just really excited and also grateful that you chose the program. I'm over the moon. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, thank you.
If you were thinking about yourself before clicking, like, yes, I'm going to make this commitment for myself, if there's somebody out there who's like on the fence about whether or not they should join the method, what would you maybe say to them?
I've done so many different programs and diets, and I really just wanted I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good in my body, and I want to feel happy, and everything about this program supports that. I know you talked about sounding like a broken record, but honestly, I think that's a good thing. I need it. I need you to sound like a broken record, because nothing's a quick fix and nothing is easy. Certainly this program has made things easier for me, but I still have days that I don't feel good, or I still have days where I do stress about my weight or about my food. And it's so helpful and so wonderful to be able to log on to the method, um, read some reviews in the community, or make a post, or watch one of your videos, and it instantly changes my mood and I feel like I'm back on track. So this has 100% been worth it for me, and I would highly recommend it to anyone looking to change their life for the better.
Oh, thank you, Kristin. That is such a beautiful message. So I hope to share that too with other people who are, like I said, like kind of your past self version before starting all this too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kristin, I like I said, I want to be mindful and respectful of your time, and I'm so grateful that you penciled this in for me to just ask you these questions. And I really, really appreciate your, like I said, just your support for the program and your excitement for the program. You show up so well for yourself. And I say this a lot too about showing up for ourselves so we can show up for others. And I see that you show up for others in the community. And it's just a really beautiful synergistic relationship that I'm grateful you're a part of. So thank you again.
Well, thank you. I'm very grateful to be a part of it.